Arkansas offers so much opportunity to explore something wonderful outside. And today we explore a state park you may have overlooked. We teach the basics of starting a great campfire and take a look at some early season fishing. Welcome to Arkansas's Great Outdoors. There are over 50 state parks to visit in Arkansas. Now, some are known by name nationwide, like Pettigene, Devil's Den, and Pinnacle Mountain. Others may not have as much name recognition, but all of them have a story and offer something unique about Arkansas's outdoors. Just a little southeast of Little Rock, just over an hour away, is a gem of a state park. Cane Creek is quiet, hosts a variety of activities, and is beautiful. It also has some unique treats.
One of the things, and there's a couple of parks in Arkansas that you can do this at, but you can actually, while in the park, be in two different geographic features. So you can be in the Mississippi Alluvial Plain, which is where the agriculture happens at. So when you get out on the lake and you look to the east, if there weren't trees along the line, you could look for a long way east because it gets flat. Of course, we're here in this section and you can look around, it's not flat. This is the Gulf Coastal Plain. And so you get a lot of the rolling hills, you get the hardwood timber, which is all around us here, interspersed with pine. So yeah, the geographical features of this park are very unique. There's not a lot of other parks that you can be in two different geographical regions of the state.
Superintendent Matt Manos is the caretaker of over 2,000 acres of this Lincoln County State Park.
The story of Cane Creek starts with the Soil Conservation Agency. It's a federal program. They wanted to create a recreational opportunity for folks here in the southeast corner. There were a lot of bigger recreational areas like Greer's Ferry, D-Gray, those kind of things in the other part of the state. This area didn't have it, so they created a partnership with Game and Fish to take care of the water. So Game and Fish manages the water here at Cane Creek, and then Arkansas State Parks to manage the land. So the campsites, the trail, all of that stuff would be managed by state parks. Not only is it just about an hour and 10 minutes, hour 15 minutes away from Little Rock, but it's an easy drive. I mean, you're talking interstate all the way down to Pine Bluff, and then you pop off onto big, long, straight roads all the way into Star City. And then you've got a little bit of a wind, but it's a pretty wind. Once you get close to the park, you get out on Cane Creek Road, and then, yeah, you're right here, and you're talking about 2,200 acres of state park land. So you're a long way out when you come out here in the park. 15 miles of trail, and then you've got the 1,600 acres of water recreation that's available. Yeah, in an hour and 15 minutes, you can be out in this. One of the biggest things that folks come here, especially from central Arkansas, one of their first questions is, are there any alligators in the lake? That's always a big topic. I've never seen one, but I have seen pictures. There are alligators around. Most of the alligators, you're gonna find them in the bayou. And that's another thing that a lot of folks talk about when they come to the park, is being so close to Bayou Bartholomew, which of course is known as the longest bayou in the world. This will be the first place that they take a long hike at. Because we've got the 15.5 miles of trail. There are only so many places in Arkansas that you can go to that have that mileage of trail.
The hikes here are a little different. Not only is the 15-mile loop as long as you want it to be,
because of some of the spur trails that are on it, you can stop in the visitor center, grab a map, talk to one of our staff members, and if you're not up for a 15-mile trail, we can set you up on a 5-mile loop or a 10-mile loop. And so there's all grades of hiking available for folks if they come here.
And there are 3 suspension bridges along the trail that offer quite a fun diversion. We will come back to Cane Creek a little later on in the show. An outdoors experience at either Cane Creek or any of our state parks or anywhere in the outdoors is best experienced safely. Here's a message from our friends at the Electric Co Operatives of Arkansas and the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
Hey everybody, I'm Trent Whitehead with Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. I wanted to talk to you today about some boating safety. One of the things that's really important if you're going to be doing boating safety is attending one of our boaters education courses. It's a certification that's required for anyone born on or after January 1st, 1986. It's a really important course that teaches you all different kinds of things about boating safety. Okay, boating safety is something we really need. The rules of the road on the water, things that people don't think about that are really important when it comes to avoiding accidents. All kinds of information in that book. It's a good course, only takes about 6 hours to take, and it's free if you go to an instructor-led course.
When we come back, we take a look at the very popular Campfire and give some pointers on how to make them light up so you can enjoy them all night long. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait. A campfire is a symbolic part of any camping experience. It's where you spend time with friends and family repeating the phrase, "It just doesn't get any better than this." Or maybe you're by yourself, watching the embers and the smoke and looking up at the night sky. It's a peaceful experience where the world and its pressures just seem to slow down, except when it won't stay lit. Every now and then, it's good to go to the basics and hear how to start a good campfire. We went to Woolly Hollow State Park and got this tip, and we did it during the daytime so you could see it a little bit better.
My name's Eddie. I'm here at Woolly Hollow State Park, and we're going to go over Campfire Basics. I know it seems like it might be an easy process, but at times people struggle with it. So we'll kind of talk about the things needed to build a campfire. So first off, you'll need some tools. A hatchet comes in handy, as well as maybe a knife for making tinder. And then we'll obviously need matches or some sort of fire. And when we talk about tinder, so that's the smallest stuff that we're going to light on fire first, and that would get the flame going. So what I've done to make that is taking my camp knife and just take a piece of your wood and just shave pieces off. It doesn't take long, you can get a big pile going. And then kindling, you don't want it any bigger than the diameter of your thumb or your pinky. And then once we light the tinder, this will be our next step. We're just gonna kind of work our way up in size. And from there, we'll go to more of our fuel, so our firewood. And again, we can't go from this to a big log. We gotta step our way up and make sure that all this has time to burn. It's gotta heat up to actually combust. So then we'll go from there, then we can go onto our logs of firewood. And what we'll do today, we're gonna build a lean-to fire. So how that works is we'll place a log here, our tinder bundle will be underneath, and then we'll kind of add our kindling. And as we build up, we'll lean our smaller logs on top of this big one. So we've got to make sure that there's airflow within the wood to burn, because the fire takes heat, fuel, and air. So if we bundle everything real tight, we won't have the airflow, so it'll smolder and probably go out. So that lean-to helps to raise those logs up to allow airflow to get to our wood to burn. So if you want to come out to Arkansas State Parks and have a wonderful experience, build fires like this, there's a few key things you need to keep in mind before you build your fire. At any Arkansas State Park, there'll be a fire ring provided. That's a designated spot for your campfire. So prior to starting the fire, make sure you clear, if there's any leaves or debris or anything around the campfire that could cause a hazard, let's clear those away. And then we'll build our fire in our fire ring. In some parks, it's a metal ring. Some may have a rock circle, but there will always be a designated fire pit for the fire to keep it contained and protect the environment that you're in.
Campfires are beautiful. They can be just as unique as a fingerprint. No two are exactly the same. Here are some photos of some of our favorites, including the one that started the day at Woolly Hollow. If you have photos of campfires or any other outdoors experience and would like to show them off, please send them to us at photos@arkansasgreatoutdoors.com. We would love to show them to our viewers and let us all get inspired by your view of the great outdoors.
All right, let's talk packs. Now, as you can see, there are many choices to choose from biking vests and packs to multi-day hikes. So what do you want to look for in a pack is the most important question that you can ask. And that is, you want good ventilation in the back, right? When you're hiking and high activity, you wanna make sure there's some ventilation when you sweat. One of my favorite things to look for is when you have a bladder inside the pack. This allows you just to carry it on your back where you need to take the most weight, instead of having them on the side where they get caught on things. And last are the pockets. You know, having a few different ones where you can tuck a rain jacket or a headlamp is perfect.
When we come back, we head back out to Cane Creek State Park, and a little later on, we search for some bass while shooting a future segment for a future show. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by We introduced Cane Creek State Park in our first segment. Let's talk now about one of the main draws, the lake. Matt and I thought we'd, 1, talk about the lake, and 2, try to catch some fish from the dock.
If you're looking at the lake, we're on the southern end right now. And when you go up that way, that's your northern end. A lot of your bass fishing happens out there in the big tree field.
That's what
right
it looks
there.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
That'd
a
be
lot
a
of
good place to target.
You know, one of the things this lake is famous for is crappie.
Oh.
Somebody talked about, they thought, and it made a kind of a crappie gold rush here, that they thought that the next world record crappie would come out of Cane Creek Lake.
Wow. Oh, man, I'm getting hit so many times. Have you seen any fish yet? Well, no, you haven't. But the talking about the lake part is going quite well. Matt is a great superintendent who truly cares about his park and everyone who visits it.
You know, get out and experience some adventure and real experiences you can get out. Instead of watching a fire on your TV, come out and make a campfire.
That's right.
And you know, that's one of the things we try to do in state parks is you know, that can be intimidating things for folks who haven't done that stuff before. And we have stuff all the time. You know, we've got Dutch oven workshops, campfire workshops, all kinds of stuff where folks can come out and learn how to do this stuff.
Wow, that was a quick theft. I never even saw the bobber move. For the record, we have discovered the miniature underwater thieves are very tiny. Barely worth our effort, right? All right, robbed again.
You know, I might have a cast net at the house.
You know, tell you what.
I bet Game and Fish would love that if we're having trouble catching fish. We'll go to the house, get the cast net.
The ultimate angler's revenge. We throw the cast net out and then we just grab each one of those fish and just yell at them. It's good to know that Cane Creek Lake has great crappie fishing, and out in the timber, the bass fishing is solid as well. The fish outsmarted us. We did hook quite a few, but we just didn't get them all the way on the hook. We fed quite a few. It's probably more accurate, but you can see how small this hook is.
Even just with these tiny hooks like this. And we tried a couple of different styles. It just didn't work, and that happens sometimes in fishing.
We got some happy fish down there.
Got some happy fish.
Yeah, it's Thanksgiving came early. Yeah.
The 15 miles of trail, there's actually around the 6 mile point, there is 2 camping shelters. So you can actually camp out overnight out on the trail, which is a real popular spot. There are 29 campsites, rental RV. So if you're kind of wanting to maybe take your first shot at an RV, you don't know if you like it or not, there's an RV available you can rent from us. It has all the furnishings of an RV. The only thing you have to bring is your own bedding. Of course, there are some of the large parks in the state that people go to almost every weekend. You got the Pinnacles, the Petty Jeans, the places like that. But if you want to come out and be in a spot that you can hike on the trail and only run into a certain number of people while you're hiking, you want to feel like you're way out in nature and not be running into quite as many folks, this is that type of spot. With the 15 miles of trail and the 2,200 acres of natural area, you really have just kind of an endless supply of things to do.
Cane Creek is not too far from the Little Rock metro area and is a gem for a lot of things. It's where the coastal plain meets the delta and offer those wonderful suspension bridges along a very picturesque hiking trail. One more thing to see and do in Arkansas's great outdoors.
The fiberglass manufacturing process at Vexus is incredibly different from anything else I've seen in this industry, and that starts with our infused composite construction process.
Infused composite construction is all built under vacuum.
So it gives you consistency. It gives you a much stronger part because your glass to resin ratio is much higher. And it gives you a lighter part. And all that in turn equates to a stronger, better performing part.
The hulls are different in every way. It's lighter, it's stronger, it's going to give the consumer a more consistent product.
The construction, how you guys vacuum it together, it's solid, it's lighter, it's just a beautiful boat.
This thing was completely stable, unreal.
There's two enemies I feel when you build a boat, and that's air and resin. Using infused composite construction, we're pulling the air out of that product.
We're putting exactly the amount of resin into the boat that we want. So we end up with a 60% glass, 40% resin mix.
When you can improve a product, make it easier to build, and have an end user experience that's better, that's real innovation.
You'll never find a better ride, hands down.
You don't feel that fatigue. You don't feel that driving force of the water coming up through the boat into the person.
At the end of the day, it's probably going to give you a couple more casts because of that fatigue is not setting in the same way when you're out there fighting waves.
Looking to get into something that's going to handle the big water a little bit better, the VX21 is definitely the boat.
We're looking at another boat brand and a Vexus. Yeah, it's an easy decision.
When you buy a Vexus boat, you're buying something you cannot buy anywhere else.
People are going to stand back in awe and say, why didn't we think of that? But we did.
When we come back, we take a little time fishing, getting ready for a future segment for the show. Arkansas's Great Outdoors is brought to you by Bad Boy Mowers, by Visit Hot Springs, America's first resort, by the Electric Cooperatives of Arkansas, by Vexus Boats, and by Certified Arkansas Baitfish, the safe bait. Sometimes we have some great ideas for the show, such as bringing in Lee, playing her violin in the outdoors, whether it's bluegrass or out on the ice. Other ideas need to be fleshed out, or in this case, fished out. We were testing a possible new segment for a future episode and thought we'd take you along for the ride. For all of you who chuckled at our inability to catch those small fish in the last segment, well, this one's for you. We're going to try to catch up. We are trying to match the technology with the idea of having anglers online making the lure selections for someone in the boat. Now, if we catch a fish with their chosen lure, they get to win a prize. So here is a look at how this test went. Angler number one is my brother, Eric, and here is his choice.
Ooh.
Which would you like for me to fish with?
Boy, I'm gonna go with the spinner bait first.
Spinner bait, okay. All right, we have some wind-blown shoreline here that we can go with the spinner bait. And I guess we can decide if at any point in your 15 minutes you'd like me to switch, I will switch to one of the others. The wind is coming out of the southwest, kind of a west by southwest. And boy, that cast right there should get something. Oh, it did! Oh, it did! Fish on! Fish on! Look at that, second cast right there. Good call on the spinnerbait, Mr. Wing. There's another one. Oh, could be bigger. Wow. Yeah, this is bigger. All right.
Yes.
My goodness, look at that. Okay.
That is great.
That's 4 casts and 2 fish, and this guy right here is every bit, he is 17.5 inches. This is not a bad fish right here. All right, coming over here to this side. Oh yeah. getting that net. Yes. Oh my goodness.
That's looking good.
All right.
Nice work, Carlton. That was good.
Oh, and that's a fatty. He is 19 inches. Oh, there's another one. Oh, here we go. And that is 18 inches. Look at this. You got 3 minutes to go and you got 4 fish. That was a heck of a run.
That was great.
That was a heck of a run. With the spinnerbait here. That was your buddy right there. You stuck with it. It rewarded you almost immediately with a fish. One of the things we learned in this test run was that the batteries on my scale were dead, so we had to measure with length. Eric's largest was 19 inches. Memo to self, get 2 AAA batteries before we go live with this segment. Our next competitor is John.
I want you, let's do that brush hog. I want you to go a little bit, go a little bit deep on that.
All right, so you want me to start on the shoreline, bring it deep, or start?
Yeah,
Okay.
Start on the shore and bring it deep.
Okay. All righty, here we go. Oh, wait a minute, we're getting a little tap tap. You're already getting a little tap tap. Oh, look at that! First cast.
Awesome.
So yours right there is 15 inches.
Yeah, but
15
obviously that thing, it's mostly muscle, so it probably weighs more than Eric's fish.
Oh, yeah. This guy's been working out. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Fish on.
Don't get nervous, Eric.
Come on, baby. Come on. Oh. There we go.
Oh,
Not bad.
that's a good
Not
one.
bad. Yep. Oh, 17 and a half.
Oh.
17 and a half right there. That's not bad for fish number 2.
John's biggest fish was 17 and a half inches, so our test is complete. Eric was the winner with that incredible run on the spinnerbait. But the after party was also strong. Cameraman Mike and I threw a few casts to get a feel for how the lake was fishing. Mike landed a couple of very nice bass. And then we hit pay dirt.
Oh, he's a big one. Oh, he's a big one. Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike. Oh my goodness. I don't know. that might be worth going to the store to get a couple of AA batteries.
A quick phone call to someone who lives on the lake pleading for 2 AAA batteries confirmed a new personal best, 10.03 pounds. Wow. What a way to finish a very strong day on the water.
You'll have to stay tuned to see how this all worked out in a future episode. Hey, we thank you for watching today. We love showcasing new places with great activities to enjoy the outdoors. Cane Creek is not far from a large metropolitan area of Little Rock, or even closer is Pine Bluff. Its camping, fishing, and hiking are worth the drive, and those suspension bridges make the hike a lot of fun. If you ever wondered about something as basic as a campfire, we hope you gave you something to build on. It's the scene for many a memory on many an evening outside. Now, one of the purposes of this show is to give you a weekly glimpse of the many different ways to enjoy getting outside. Whether it's your first time going outside or your first time in a long time, we hope some of the things you see each week on this show encourage you to step out that door and discover this wonderful world that awaits you. We appreciate you watching, and we appreciate the sponsors and broadcasters of this program who make it all possible. Thank you, and we will see you next week somewhere in Arkansas's great outdoors.